The Biden administration has announced that Wang Yi, China's top diplomat, is due to visit the United States later this week. Now, this long-awaited trip coincides with West Asia's escalating tensions, which, according to the U.S. officials, Beijing can help manage. Now, Wang Yi will arrive in Washington on the 26th of October for a three-day visit. He's expected to meet with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. The visit will be the most significant in-person interaction ahead of the anticipated November meeting between the Chinese President Xi Jinping and U.S. President Joe Biden in San Francisco. Now, the visit also comes as the Russian-Ukrainian war continues, and the world is, of course, focused on the 7th of October incursion carried out by Hamas and also Israel's relentless campaign of bombing that has resulted in many massacres inside the Palestinian territory of Gaza. Now, China has in fact become much closer to Russia since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It has also advocated for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, and it warns that immediate humanitarian aid should be provided to the Palestinian people who've been besieged by the state of Israel. Now, Washington is delivering military supplies to Israel and Ukraine at this moment, and this puts the geopolitical situation between China and the United States in a very interesting equation. As per the U.S. officials, the meeting can cover both Russia-Ukraine conflict and the Israel-Hamas conflict. And further, the United States will push the Chinese to take a more constructive approach on both these aspects. Now, China's capacity to sway Iran is important for Washington. Now, during his brief visit to West Asia last week, Blinken in fact called Wang and has urged him to use Beijing's influence in an area to make sure that the conflict does not extend further. And for more on Wang Yi's upcoming visit to Washington, Susan Tehrani, our correspondent from New York, has in fact been tracking the story pretty closely for us and has sent us this report. Listen in.
China is expected to dispatch its foreign minister to Washington this week to meet with his counterpart, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, for possible preparations for that summit that is expected to take place next month in San Francisco. Also this week, a delegation of Chinese business, cultural, and sports figures are due here in New York. Now, this is according to the Wall Street Journal. The State Department has yet to comment on the Chinese foreign minister's visit and also these recent engagements by Beijing. The pickup in bilateral talks, however, may indicate that Xi Jinping will accept President Biden's invitation to take part in that APEC summit scheduled next month in San Francisco. Xi this month told visiting Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer that, quote unquote, there are 1,000 reasons for the U.S. and China to cooperate. However, all is not well in bilateral relations. We learned from Chinese state media that a Chinese academic accused of spying for the United States is set to be tried under China's espionage law. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World as well.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.